All right, I'm on the phone with Ellsworth head football coach Duane Crawford. And, Coach, 2 wins in a row. This is quite the little winning streak for Ellsworth football.
Yeah, we obviously 2 years ago we had a better winning streak than that, but it's been nice with this group, and we've been in every game from the start, with the exception of the Herman game. So it's not a huge surprise that we've actually started to put things together, and it's been nice. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, we talked about it, the fact that these were must-win games, and now all of a sudden it's another must-win. I mean, this one, when I'm looking at the heel points, you've got to win against Washington Academy to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, and we knew after beating Stearns, and actually knew going into Stearns that we had to win out to get into the playoffs. So that's been right there in front of us the whole time, and we know that we need to get out there and get after it Friday night, and our fate rests in our hands, which is kind of nice. We don't have to rely on somebody else helping us out. So we just have to go out and play hard Friday night and come away with a W, and we're in the playoffs.
Let's talk a little bit about the Orono game, and then we'll transition into next week or into this coming Friday. Tell us about the Orono game. A nice, comfortable victory.
Yeah, I mean, they're down this year, and they graduated a lot of seniors last year, and they had a great team last year. But, and that's the thing with football. And I was just actually reading something on the Portland Press Herald about disparity in scores this year and how reclassifying hasn't really made any difference with the blowouts. And God knows we've been on the wrong end of a lot of those over the past 6 years. But it's so cyclical. From year to year, teams can be either really good or not so good, and sometimes you have 4, 5, 6 years where you're really good, and it just seems like you're reloading every year, and then all of a sudden everything just drops off the end of the world, and that's just as a matter of what you have for kids coming in and what you have to work with. So Orono is definitely down this year. They've got a lot of younger players, and they knew going in they were going to have a rough year of it. And but Bobby's a great coach, and he's keeping them positive, and so we were able to go out and we're a young team too. But I guess the difference is these kids have been playing together for a long time, all the way up through. So and a lot of them had experience last year playing, and so that's kind of it's one more year evolved, and each year they get a little bit better, and we've got some talented guys. And so it was nice to go out there, and we got all of our players in by the third quarter. So it was running time in the third quarter, and got most of the starters off the field within that first 2 series of the third quarter, and let the seconds get a shot at it.
Which is really a nice thing to do, to be able to be on the upper hand of that. I mean, like, as you said, in the past years, it's been on the wrong end, and it's nice to be on that upper hand and to be able to get your starters out and to be able to get the seconds in there with some meaningful rep time.
Yeah, and especially being on the other end of that so many times, I can definitely feel for the other sideline and what it's like to know that week in and week out, it doesn't matter what you do, chances of you coming away with anything that's even close to being competitive is not very good, and so it's one of those things that and Bobby's always been good to us in the past, and tried to gear it down as quickly as we could. That being said, we only had, I think we had 18, 19 kids in pads Friday night, so you can only gear down just so far. But we got the second backfield in there, and they had a great game. Landon St. Peter had 7 carries for 77 yards, and Noah Hughes had a touchdown and 60 or so yards rushing on 5 or 6 carries. So good night overall for everybody. Charlie Hughes had 3 touchdowns. I mean, we scored, I think, the second time second play of the game. So from 20 yards out, we forced them to punt, and they'd drop the ball, and we got it 30, 40 yard line, and within 2 plays we're in the end zone, and pretty much from that point I knew that it was going to be one of those things. Just let's get get this thing done over as quickly as we can, and get our players off, and get Bobby home without any injuries, and try to let them get some stuff going on their end as well. So that's what we did.
All right, well, this Friday is Senior Recognition Night. It's a chance to honor the seniors that have been with you for, and most of them having played for 4 years. We'll talk about them on Friday. But if you would, tell us what you're going to work on this week in preparation for Washington Academy and what you know about them. They're a high-scoring team.
Yeah, and they're worth a ton of points, obviously. And Holton beating them jumped Holton up to 5th place, I believe, and put us down to 4th. Down to 6th, and so obviously we have to go out and win Friday night. And I didn't get a chance to actually look at much of the film until yesterday because I took the kids up to the University of Maine game Saturday,
right,
which was a lot of fun. But they have a ton of different formations. They spread the field out. They don't throw the ball a whole lot, but they spread you out, and which makes you obviously have to cover the guys that are out there on the edge. And everything's out of shotgun, zone read. The quarterback will boot the ball and keep it on some design run plays. So they've got some speed out there, and the coaching staff's been there for a long time. Barry does a good job with the team, so it's going to be a tough week of practice. A lot of stuff to look at, and we'll definitely have our work cut out for us.
It's nice to finish up the season at home.
Yeah, it is. It's that the schedule: two on the road, 2 home, 2 on the road, and then 2 home again. The two in a row on the road is definitely, it makes for a long couple of weeks. So it's nice to have these last 2 games at home. Makes things a whole lot easier.
Yeah, no doubt. Depending upon what happens, if you're able to beat Washington Academy, you can end up finishing anywhere from a 4th, 5th, or 6th.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how the heel points will shake out. I think that if Dexter beats Holton and
I'm sorry. You can't go 4, but you're going to go 5 or 6 without any question.
6, yeah. So one of those 2 spots, which is nice. This is the first year that we've been eligible for the playoffs, so it's nice to be in that position where we can, we have a chance to get in there. And like I said, our destiny is in our own hands, and it'll be up to the kids to, be focused all week long, and this will be one of the most important games they've ever played in. So it'll be nice to see how they respond and what we can do Friday night. And it looks like weather is going to be perfect again all week long, so it should be a great night of football Friday.
Yeah, gosh, we've really, knock on wood, we've really just been extremely lucky with weather-wise. Friday night, they're looking clear, lows in the mid-40s. You think back, and you and I have been around this and doing this a long time, and not to play any games in the rain or in the snow so far, or to be brutally cold is just amazing at this point.
Oh yeah, we played some games that have been just rain sideways, or really cold, or rain and snow, and cold temperatures, and it's been great. You gotta love global warming.
Well, you think about it. There was whether it was last year or 2 years ago, I think your final game of the season was it got canceled because of the snow.
Yeah, we couldn't play. We had a foot of snow on the field and couldn't get rid of it, and tried to arrange something at Husson on their field, and that didn't work out, and we finally just had to cancel the game. So that was with Holton. So yeah, it's there's been some messy games out there, and knock on wood, we haven't had any this year, which is nice.
Yeah, and it allows the kids to play and not have the elements take over.
Yeah, and that's always tough too. If you're sliding around in the mud and the rain, and you obviously you have an increased risk of injury, and it slows the teams down, and your athletes don't get a chance to be athletes, and so it's nice to have ideal conditions to actually let them go out there and play.
Who did you award game ball to on Friday night?
Well, we really didn't. It was a total team effort. Everybody got to play, and there were some great performances all the way around. But I think we acknowledged the win, and that everyone did a great job, and we did a great job preparing. But I'm running out of footballs to give away. Number one. I've got one left for the rest of the season. So, but I think in that circumstance, it was more of us winning as a team and working hard all week and coming together. So
well, and again, the focus is on this week because you need to win and to get into the playoffs. Exactly,
and that's this is a huge game, probably the biggest game this program's ever played in, and so it'll be definitely a true test of our character, and when we're not used to being on this side of a win. In the past, it's been we've been the ones who've been being beat 41-3 or 50-0, or whatever the case may be. So the team still has to learn how to handle those wins and not let down and keep that work ethic going throughout the week. So that's our goal this week.
You really need to have a big crowd there on Friday night, to have that 12th man on the Ellsworth sidelines.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and senior night, we don't have that many seniors, so that's not going to lend a huge number of additional fans. But I would hope that the student body would come out and support us, and I know they will. We had a good crowd last Friday night, and I'm sure it'll be a good one this Friday night as well.
All right, Coach. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you on Friday. We'll talk about the seniors, and we'll talk about this week's practices, and hopefully get ready for an Ellsworth an Ellsworth win to advance to the playoffs.
Yes. Thanks, Chris.